This is the Vario 1918 brass trench watch with white dial and orange lume. It's Vario's reimagined World War I trench watch, and it's a fairly affordable watch that comes in a couple of different sizes with numerous different dial and strap configurations. It's also a watch that I will be giving away to one lucky viewer, which is what I usually do when I get a watch from a brand as a sample for review, so stay tuned till the end of the video to learn how you could be the one to win this watch. Now, I am generally a fan of military-style watches, especially field watches, like one of my all-time favorites, the Hamilton Khaki Field. So when Vario reached out to me and asked if I'd like to review one of these, obviously the answer was yes. Checking out a new style of military-inspired timepiece in a brass-constructed case, which is sort of new to me, was something that I was very interested in seeing. And I have to say that right off the bat, I'm not disappointed. I think at the price of between $350 and $390, this watch represents pretty good value for money. The white enamel dial is set into a satin finish brass case with a 316L stainless steel case back, running a hand-wind and hacking automatic Miyota 82S5 movement, and having a screw-down crown with 100 meters of water resistance and a double-domed sapphire crystal with AR coating is definitely worth the money. Add to that some great high-quality leather strap options, and, of course, assuming if you're a fan of the style, I think you really can't beat it. As far as the other specs on this one, they are available in two sizes, that being 37 and 40 millimeters. And I asked them to send over the 40 millimeter version, which I'm now sure was the correct choice. The reason being that, while yes, I do tend to prefer smaller watches, when I looked at the design on this one, I suspected that it might wear a bit smaller than other 40 millimeter watches, and I was absolutely correct. Well, the case on this one is 40 millimeters in diameter, and it also has a good lug-to-lug length of 48 millimeters. Because of the round case and of the wire lug profile, this watch does feel smaller than the dimensions would suggest once you get it on the wrist. And it's fairly thin as well at just 10 millimeters. That said, how is it on the wrist? Well, for me and my 6.5-inch wrist, I think that it wears great. And like I said, I have no regrets with having gone with the larger 40 millimeter version. It's really a great fit for me, and I think it would be a versatile enough size for wrists all the way down to 6 inches. But beyond that, I might start looking at the 37 millimeter version. Now, for the larger wristed guys, definitely go for this 40 millimeter option. I think you'll be glad you did. The engraved caseback is pretty interesting, actually, with some designations in regards to the branding and the specifications, and some nice World War I imagery as well. It's a clean engraving that adds something a little bit different than your typical display caseback window, and I kind of like it. Now, while the majority of the brass case has a satin brushed finish, which I think looks great, and it does give the watch a nice, even, non-glare presentation, the thin, domed bezel does have a polished finish, which might be a little bit unnecessary if this were a watch that was going into battle, but I find it to be a nice touch for the average Joe who's going to be wearing this as a daily timepiece. Now, I did choose the white dial with orange lume model for this review because I love white enamel dials, and I wanted to see how this one stacked up to others that I've seen in the past, and it stacks up quite nicely. There's something about the creamy white tone of an enamel dial that I absolutely love, and this one is executed really well. The numerals are in a vintage-inspired typeface and filled with orange lume, and they're surrounded in a black outline. Now, I know that some people will love the design and some won't, but for my personal taste, I like it quite a lot. Between the numbers and the train track style chapter ring, it really has a nice vintage vibe without being overdone with fake patina. The active running seconds subdial is recessed, and it's just below the central hand stack, and I have to say that I'm glad that it's located centrally on the dial and that it's not offset like you sometimes see on watches like this from the earliest 20th century style. The handset is, in my opinion, also awesome, but I know some people are not going to like the cathedral-style hour hand and the elongated syringe-style minutes hand, but then again, being in the style of an early turn-of-the-century watch, I think that it works really well on the overall design. The screw-down onion-style crown is at the 430 position, and I've got no complaints with it at all. The size is just right, and the threading action works really well. And as mentioned, we do have both stop seconds hacking and hand winding, so we have all of the modern conveniences of a watch made today. Now, Vario did send me a few straps to try with this watch, including a black leather single pass style strap, which is probably the strap that I prefer the most for this one. The quality is really good, and the fit on the wrist is absolutely comfortable. If not just a tad long for me, but not so long as to be a problem. However, I would like it just a hair shorter in overall length if I had it my way, but that's a very minor complaint. They also sent a single pass canvas style strap with matching brass hardware, which is a nice touch, I have to say, and I definitely recommend this one as well. Finally, they also sent me a green leather bund strap, and while I have no complaints with the strap as far as the quality and the construction goes, honestly, I'm just not a fan of this style of strap. It's too much leather on the wrist for me with that backing piece. But that backing piece is optional, so you could wear it with just the two halves of the strap without it if, like me, you don't prefer all of that extra leather. Just keep in mind that these watches have solid wire lugs, meaning there is no spring bar, so you won't be able to take a normal leather strap and put it on this watch. You have to fit it with a strap like this, which has a flap and latches or a screw holding the watch lugs. The watch face and the hands have C3 lume, but I have to tell you, I don't have a lume shot for you. The lume is quite dim even when fully charged, and I couldn't get a good shot of it with my camera. And honestly, that's probably the only real negative about this watch. The lume is a little bit lacking. That said, I don't really care all that much about lume, so it's not a serious issue for me, but I did want to give you guys a heads up if you're the kind of person who loves blindingly bright Seiko-style lume, because this isn't quite like that. So yeah, overall, I have to say that I am super impressed with this one. And aside from a couple of very minor complaints that are mostly non-issues, I have been really happy with this Vario 1918. And I guess that leaves us with the reason that I'm sure most of you are still here, and that is, how can you win this watch giveaway? Well, first and foremost, subscribe to my channel and click the like button on this video, and leave me a comment letting me know what you think about this watch. Only subscribers will be eligible for the giveaway, so again, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Secondly, sometime next week between August 21st and August 28th, I'm going to do a live stream, and I'm going to pick a winner on that live stream. I'm not sure exactly what day it will be yet. It will sort of just be when I feel like doing it, but I will schedule it a little bit in advance, so make sure you keep an eye out for that live stream so you don't miss it. All right, well, that's going to do it for today. I want to say thanks for watching the video, and of course, thanks to Vario for sending this watch out for the review. And with all of that said, I'm Guy from Just Bluefish Watch Reviews, and until the next one, I'm going to go ahead and say bye now.